Imagine you're dropped into a jungle that contains 8 of the most perfectly engineered killing machines evolution has ever produced. You didn't sign a waiver. The closest exit is somewhere behind a tiger. Well, we're going in anyway. Let's fight some big cats. The cheetah is the fastest land animal on Earth, the Ferrari of the cat world. Except the Ferrari is also trying to suffocate you. It goes from 0 to 70 miles per hour in 3 seconds. That's faster off the line than a Lamborghini Huracan, a $200,000 supercar beaten by a cat. That's not a metaphor. That's a measured fact. The Huracan does it in 2.9 seconds. The cheetah does it in 3.0. You could technically argue the car wins, but the car doesn't have teeth, so the point stands. Here's how this goes. You're standing in open savanna. You see it in the distance, a sleek, spotted silhouette crouched low in the grass. You have approximately 2 seconds before it starts running. Then it does, and that's it. You don't dodge this. You don't pivot. Your human reaction time is 250 milliseconds. By the time your brain registers the launch, the cheetah is already at 40 miles per hour in closing. It hits you with a specialized dew claw, a fixed, hook-like claw on its front leg that it uses like a tripwire. Your leg goes out. You're on the ground. Now the throat bite. The cheetah clamps onto your windpipe and holds. It doesn't shake. It doesn't slash. It simply squeezes, patiently, until you stop moving. This is called a suffocation kill, and the cheetah is extremely good at it. But here's the twist. The cheetah is a nervous wreck. It is, among all the big cats, the most anxious, the most easily startled, and the most likely to abandon a kill. Studies show cheetahs lose over 50% of their completed kills to other predators, lions, hyenas, even large birds, because the moment something bigger shows up, the cheetah just leaves. It sprints away, alone, into the grass, to lie down and hyperventilate. So your best move? Make noise. Wave your arms. Be big and loud and chaotic. You are not the most dangerous thing this cheetah has ever met, and it knows it. There's a real chance it bolts before it even reaches you. If it does grab you, go limp immediately. This confuses it. A confused cheetah is a fleeing cheetah. Outcome? Escape. You survive by triggering the cheetah's deeply inconvenient anxiety disorder. And here's the thing about the cheetah. The fastest animal alive is also the most emotionally fragile animal alive. It can't roar. It chirps. Like a bird. A 140-pound bird that can do 70 miles per hour and has a midlife crisis every time a jackal looks at it funny. It's an overconfident speedster with severe anxiety, and every therapist in the Serengeti is fully booked. Into the collection it goes. Don't worry, it's already freaking out. The lynx looks like someone crossed a house cat with a myth. It's got tufted ears, a stubby tail, and eyes that look directly into your soul from behind 2 feet of fresh Canadian snowfall. Their paws spread to 4 inches wide, the equivalent of built-in snowshoes. They can detect prey buried under 2 feet of snow without touching it. You will hear nothing. It will hear everything. You're in a northern boreal forest. It is winter. The snow is thick and soft, and your footsteps sound like someone hitting a bass drum with a shovel. The lynx's footsteps sound like nothing. It weighs up to 40 pounds, roughly the size of a medium dog, but those paws distribute its weight so efficiently across the snow that it barely leaves a depression. You are loud and slow. It is silent and fast. This fight started the moment you entered the forest and you didn't know it. You're looking down at your boots, trying to figure out why your left foot is wetter than your right, when something lands on your back from above. The lynx doesn't stalk you from behind. It climbs. It gets above you, on a branch or a rock ledge, and it drops. All 35 pounds, straight onto your shoulders. Before you can turn, it bites the back of your neck. Not your throat. Your neck. The lynx is a specialist. It targets the cervical vertebrae with a precision bite that severs the spinal connection in large prey. This is what it does to snowshoe hares, which are its almost exclusive food source. You are, biologically speaking, a very large, slow, loud snowshoe hare. You try to shake it off. It holds. It does not panic like the cheetah. It does not lose nerve. The lynx has a single-minded, almost mechanical patience that makes it unsettling to fight in a way pure speed does not. You are grappling with a creature that is completely committed to one outcome. Now the twist. The lynx population is so biologically synchronized with the snowshoe hare that when hare populations crash, which happens on a roughly 10-year cycle, lynx populations crash directly afterward. The most perfectly specialized predator in North America can barely survive without a single prey species. It's not dangerous because it's adaptable. It's dangerous because it's deeply, precariously obsessed. Outcome? Loss. You never saw it coming. Neither did the hare. The lynx has essentially built its entire life around one food. One. If snowshoe hares disappeared tomorrow, the lynx would simply cease to function as a species. It is the ultimate single-subject PhD candidate. Brilliant, focused, and completely unemployable if its niche evaporates. An obsessive specialist who ate the same thing for lunch for 3 million years and has absolutely no backup plan. Into the collection. Try not to look like a hare. Before we go further, let's talk about what all these animals share, because understanding the blueprint makes the next 6 challengers significantly more terrifying. First, retractable claws. Almost every cat in this lineup, except the cheetah, has fully retractable claws. This means the claws stay sharp by never touching the ground until the moment they're deployed. A cheetah's claws are semi-retractable because it needs them for grip at 70 miles per hour. Every other cat on this list is essentially walking around with switchblades permanently holstered. Second, the bite force spectrum. Cats don't bite to injure, they bite to kill. Their jaws are engineered for one of two kills: the suffocation bite to the throat, used by cheetahs, lions, and tigers, or the skull crush bite behind the ears, used by leopards and jaguars. The pressure required for the skull bite in a large cat is enough to crack a bowling ball. Third, ambush versus pursuit. The big cats divide cleanly into two strategies. Pursuit, hunters like the cheetah rely on explosive speed across open ground. Ambush hunters like the leopard, tiger, snow leopard, and lynx rely on getting within one leap before you notice them. Ambush hunters can be invisible for hours before the strike. You will not identify them on approach. Fourth, whiskers as precision instruments. A cat's whiskers are roughly as wide as its body. In darkness, they act as a measurement tool. In a fight, they detect air displacement, which means a cat can track the path of your arm before it arrives. Swinging at a big cat in low light is like announcing your move in advance. And fifth, the silent kill reflex. Every cat on this list can disengage a kill and go completely motionless in under a second. If something bigger arrives, the cat freezes. This is why even apex predators like tigers will abandon a kill mid-meal. That instinct is your best survival tool, and every upcoming challenger has it to a different degree. Not all of these cats use the ambush equally. One of our upcoming challengers has taken ambush to such a conceptual extreme that it's less a hunting strategy and more an act of psychological warfare. We'll get there. Nobody told you about this one. The fishing cat is a medium-sized wild cat from South and Southeast Asia that looks, at a glance, like an unusually stocky tabby. It weighs around 25 pounds. It has partially webbed feet, and it is, pound for pound, one of the most absurdly capable predators in this entire lineup. The fishing cat swims faster than most competitive human swimmers, dives below the surface to grab fish from underneath, and has been documented killing cobras, crocodile hatchlings, and small deer. This is not a house cat. This is a house cat that went full Navy SEAL. It is twice the size of a domestic cat and approximately 10 times as dangerous as any reasonable person would expect. It lives in wetlands, mangrove swamps, and riverbanks, and it has evolved a hunting technique so peculiar that scientists weren't sure they were reading the footage correctly at first. You're crossing a shallow stream. The water is murky, knee-deep, and the rocks are slippery. You're watching your footing. You're not watching the water. That's the mistake. The fishing cat doesn't wait on the bank. It enters the water quietly, submerges, and approaches from below the surface. The first thing you feel is something closing around your ankle with a grip that should not exist on a 25-pound animal. The cat uses its specialized scooping claw technique, the same motion it uses to hook fish from beneath, to drag you off balance. You go sideways into the water. Now you're on the cat's turf, and you are dramatically worse at being in water than it is. It pins you. It bites. It is fast and precise and completely unimpressed by your size. Here's the twist. The fishing cat is not a specialist the way the lynx is a hare specialist. It is a generalist overachiever. It eats fish, frogs, snakes, waterbirds, small deer, domestic livestock, and, on record, juvenile estuarine crocodiles. It kills things that should be killing it. Its kill list reads like a bet gone wrong. Outcome, loss. You should have stayed on dry land. The fishing cat owned the water before it owned you. The fishing cat is proof that overachievement can be a personality disorder. Most cats avoid water with the intensity of a cat avoiding a bath. The fishing cat looked at water and thought, that's where the extra credit is. It is the student who did every optional assignment, killed a cobra as extra credit, and still showed up early to class. Nobody asked for this. Nobody could have prepared for this. Into the collection, after someone dries it off. The snow leopard is the most elusive large predator on Earth. It lives above 10,000 feet in the mountains of Central Asia. And for most of modern human history, we barely knew it existed. Camera traps and satellite tags gave us the first real behavioral data. Before that, it was essentially a ghost with a very photogenic pelt. The snow leopard can leap up to 50 feet horizontally, the full length of a school bus, from a standstill on the edge of a cliff face. Its tail is nearly as long as its body and acts as a counterbalance and rudder during aerial maneuvers. It also uses that tail like a shawl when it sleeps, wrapping it around its face in the mountain cold. This is objectively the most dignified thing any predator on this list does, and it's worth acknowledging before we discuss what happens when you meet one. You are above the tree line. You are hiking a ridge in the Himalayas. The rock is gray and broken and blends perfectly with the snow leopard's rosette-patterned coat. You could be looking directly at it right now and not see it. This is not metaphor. Researchers have lost track of radio-tagged snow leopards while standing within 30 feet of them. If a snow leopard decides to attack, it comes from above, leaping from a ledge or rock face onto your back, biting the back of the neck, then dragging you into a crevasse. The drag is important. Snow leopards cache their kills in rocky terrain, wedging them into cracks so other predators can't steal them. You would be stored like luggage. But here's the counterintuitive part, and this is the most important fact about the snow leopard in this lineup. There is no verified record of a snow leopard attacking a human being unprovoked. Not one. In documented human-snow leopard encounters, the cat retreats. Every time. It apparently finds humans deeply uninteresting. This is not reassuring in the way you might hope. It means the snow leopard is perfectly capable of dropping you off a cliff and has simply decided you're not worth the effort. If you could get this fight started, it would be extraordinary and terrifying. But the snow leopard genuinely does not want anything to do with you, and it's almost impossible to goad it into engagement. You spend 20 minutes on a Himalayan ridge, slowly freezing, waiting for an attack that never comes. Outcome? Draw. The snow leopard wins by not showing up. You lose by being outsmarted by an absence. The snow leopard is the only animal in this lineup that looked at you, calculated the effort required, and decided it had better things to do. It's not that you're not threatening. It's that you're irrelevant. It's the ghost at a party who didn't want to be there, doesn't acknowledge the other guests, and leaves without saying goodbye. Aloof doesn't begin to cover it. The snow leopard has never once in its life cared what you think. The snow leopard doesn't go into the collection. It was never really there to begin with. The puma, also called the cougar, the mountain lion, the panther, and about 40 other names depending on where you live, holds the Guinness World Record for the animal with the most common names. It is the most widely distributed land mammal in the Western Hemisphere, and it can leap straight up 18 feet from a standing position. Straight up, no running start. That's jumping onto the roof of a 2-story building from the ground. It's also capable of a 40-foot horizontal bound and a top speed of 50 miles per hour. The puma can reach almost anywhere you think is safe. It weighs up to 220 pounds in large males, roughly the size of a professional middleweight boxer, but significantly more flexible and with better cardio. It hunts deer, elk, and bighorn sheep, all of which are larger than you. Size is not a defense here. The puma is a stalker. It follows you, for hours sometimes. There are documented cases of pumas trailing hikers for miles without ever attacking, just observing, deciding, recalibrating. If you don't know it's there, you can't stop it. If you do know it's there and you run, you trigger the chase reflex. Running is the worst thing you can do. If it commits, it launches from cover, clears the distance in 2 bounds, and hits you at the shoulders. Its preferred kill is a precision bite to the base of the skull. It targets the occipital region, the junction between skull and spine, with enough force to dislocate the cervical vertebrae. This is a surgical kill. It's not dramatic. It's efficient in a way that's almost worse than dramatic. Here's the twist, though, and this one actually saves you. Pumas actively avoid humans. Not the way the snow leopard passively ignores you. Actively. Studies in Patagonia found that pumas regularly abandon fresh kills when they detect human voices playing from speakers nearby. Not actual humans, just recordings. The sound of human conversation is enough to drive a puma from food it already caught. You are the most psychologically effective deterrent the puma knows. If you stand your ground, make noise, make eye contact, and hold your space, you are triggering every avoidance instinct the puma has been shaped by for millennia. It backs off. It melts into the terrain. It was never really interested in the fight. It was interested in whether you were vulnerable. Outcome? Escape. You are too inconvenient. The puma finds a deer instead. The puma is the ultimate conflict avoidant loner. It has more names than any animal alive, lives across 2 continents, and still manages to avoid being seen by most people who spend years looking for it. It's not antisocial, it's curated. The puma has simply decided that contact with your species is not worth its time, and it maintains this boundary with the quiet, terrifying confidence of someone who could absolutely destroy you, but won't, because you're not worth the dry cleaning bill. Into the collection. It doesn't come willingly, but it doesn't argue either. The leopard is pound for pound the strongest cat on earth, where the cheetah has speed and the tiger has mass. The leopard has something more unsettling, functional strength at any scale, deployed with complete methodical confidence. The leopard can carry prey 3 times its own body weight up a vertical tree trunk to cache it in the branches. For a 150-pound leopard, that's a 450-pound carcass carried up a ladder. No human being has ever done a deadlift that ends with climbing a tree. The leopard does this routinely. It does this because it cannot trust the ground. Lions steal from it. Hyenas steal from it. Wild dogs steal from it. So the leopard takes everything it kills and hangs it in a tree, above reach, where it can eat alone and in peace. This is not caution. This is a profoundly justified paranoia developed over millions of years of having your lunch taken. The leopard is the most adaptable big cat alive. It lives in rainforests, deserts, mountains, grasslands, suburbs, and, this is not a joke, active airport perimeters in Mumbai. It has been found hunting inside the city of Nairobi. It denned in a storm drain in Johannesburg. The leopard does not require wilderness. It requires prey. You are prey, and you are everywhere. The attack begins before you understand its beginning. The leopard commits to an ambush only when the probability of success is essentially certain, It does not take risks. If a leopard has decided to attack you, it has been watching you long enough to know your patterns, your blind spots, and the exact moment your attention drops. It hits you from behind at the shoulders, clamps the jaws onto your throat in a suffocation grip, and the fight is over faster than the cheetah's encounter, but with none of the cheetah's emotional instability. The leopard does not panic. It does not recalibrate. It finishes. The twist? Leopards are documented to take kills into trees and return to them over multiple days. If the leopard decides you're food, and a leopard in a food-stressed region absolutely will, you are a resource to be managed, not just a threat to be eliminated. You would be stored. This is somehow worse than a straightforward death. You'd be in a tree. Outcome, loss. Clean, quick, and organized. The leopard was never worried about you. The leopard has trust issues. Deep, structural, evolutionarily reinforced trust issues. It has spent millions of years having its meals stolen and has responded by building a vertical hoarding system in tree canopies across 3 continents. It doesn't just distrust other predators, it distrusts the concept of eating near other predators. The leopard is a paranoid hoarder who would absolutely not let you borrow anything, and would genuinely not feel bad about it. Into the collection, and immediately stored somewhere no one else can reach it. The tiger is the largest wildcat that has ever lived. A Siberian tiger male can weigh 660 pounds, stand 4 feet at the shoulder, and stretch 12 feet from nose to tail. Everything about its biology is calibrated to kill things of the size of gaur, Asian buffalo that weigh up to 2,200 pounds. You weigh, in comparison, roughly the same as a deer. The tiger doesn't even need to scale up for you. Its bite force has been measured at over 1,000 pounds per square inch, enough to crack through the skull of a large ungulate. For context, a hyena, an animal famous for its bone-crushing jaw, bites at around 1,100 pounds per square inch. The tiger is in that company. It once dragged a 440-pound Gor bull, an animal 10 adult humans couldn't move in a tug-of-war, over a quarter mile through dense forest, alone. Everything you've faced so far has had some margin of escape, some behavioral quirk, some evolutionary insecurity to exploit. The tiger is the point at which this video considers whether it has been honest with you. The tiger is a pure ambush predator. It doesn't chase. It doesn't sprint across open ground like the cheetah. It positions itself in thick cover, and it waits. It can hold absolutely still for an hour, 2 hours. Its striped coat is not camouflage for the terrain. It's camouflage for light. The vertical stripes break up the tiger's silhouette in dappled light and tall grass, making it functionally invisible in the environment it prefers to hunt. You walk through a forest. The forest is a tiger. It launches from within 5 to 10 feet. You will not hear it. A tiger's paws are padded to near silence on any surface. The attack is over in seconds. A paw strike to the head or shoulder. A tiger's paw can knock a fully grown horse off its feet, followed by a bite to the skull or the throat. It chooses based on prey size. For something your size, it opts for the skull. Here's the counterintuitive twist. The tiger has terrible stamina. It gives up a chase after 100 meters. Its entire hunting strategy is built around a single explosive ambush. And if that fails, the tiger doesn't pursue. It simply resets and tries again somewhere else. If you somehow survive the initial strike and create distance, the tiger stops. It sits down. It watches you go. The catch is that somehow survive the initial strike is doing an enormous amount of work in that sentence. A tiger's strike force has been measured at over 10,000 newtons. That is not a fact with a reassuring human analogy. That is simply a very large number that means you will not survive the initial strike. Outcome, loss. Definitive. Final. The tiger was designed for exactly this. The one comfort is this. The tiger is a terrible loser. When an ambush fails, when a deer spooks early or a buffalo turns and charges, the tiger does not adjust. It sits in the grass with what researchers describe as an expression of absolute, simmering indignation, and waits for the universe to apologize. It is the most intelligent ambush predator alive, and it does not handle embarrassment gracefully. If you somehow got away, the tiger would absolutely think about it later. Into the collection. The tiger goes in last, and the collection is now very quiet. We've been saving the lion for last, not because it's the most dangerous animal in this lineup, that's the tiger, but because the lion is the most theatrical. The lion understands spectacle. It has a mane designed specifically to look impressive and intimidating. It has a roar audible from 5 miles away. It is the only cat that lives in cooperative social groups. The lion doesn't just want to win. The lion wants an audience for winning. A coalition of 4 male lions can hold and defend a territory of over 100 square miles, an area larger than Washington, D.C. The roar isn't a weapon. It's a broadcast. It says, "This is ours. We are here. And there are more of us than you've counted yet. You're on the savannah." It's late afternoon, the golden hour when the light makes everything look cinematic and beautiful. A male lion is lying on a rock 200 yards away. He's looking at you. He is extraordinarily photogenic and extremely dangerous, and you're trying to process both things simultaneously. The male lion is not hunting you. The lionesses are hunting you. This is the first and most important piece of information. Lionesses do approximately 85 to 90% of all hunting in a pride. The male's job is to protect territory, intimidate rivals, and eat first. The male lion is the CEO who schedules the meetings but doesn't attend them. The lionesses fan out around you. You don't see all of them. This is the innovation of cooperative hunting. While one cat is visible, maybe two, the others are circling into your flanks and cutting off your retreat. By the time you register that the visible lioness has stopped moving, you are already surrounded. One breaks from cover to your left. You turn. The other hits you from the right. The third is already on you before you complete the turn. The bite is to the throat. It's the same suffocation kill as the cheetah, but with 600 pounds of distributed weight and 3 pairs of jaws working different angles, it's not a surgical procedure. It is simply overwhelming force applied in too many directions at once for a single human body to address. The twist? The male lion, for all his theater, is the laziest cat in this lineup. He sleeps up to 20 hours a day. He eats before the lionesses who did the hunting and frequently steals kills from cheetahs, wild dogs, and hyenas. In recorded observation, male lions have been seen eating while the prey animal was still alive, simply because walking around it to make a clean kill seemed like too much effort. The most visually impressive predator alive is, in practice, a deeply unbothered freeloader who inherited his position from his genetics and has never once questioned whether he deserved it. Outcome? Loss. But you should feel okay about it. You just got beaten by an organized system that took evolution 5 million years to build. The male lion is an ego-driven middle manager who schedules 0 deliverables, attends none of the actual work, and then shows up at the results meeting with the loudest voice in the room. The lionesses close the deals. The male lion takes the territory. He roars so everyone knows his name. He sleeps 20 hours a day, and he is objectively the face of the brand. The lion didn't earn the top of the food chain. He just had the most impressive LinkedIn profile, and evolution gave him the corner office. And with that, our collection is complete. 8 of the deadliest, most astonishing predators alive, collected one by one through an increasingly chaotic series of encounters that we absolutely did not consent to. The cheetah is having an anxiety attack in the corner. The snow leopard was never really there. The lynx is still waiting for a hare. And somewhere in a tree, a leopard is hoarding this entire video and refusing to share it with anyone. These are the deadliest big cats on Earth. Thank you for surviving most of them.